Hey guys, my name is Ian and welcome to my Start Animating YouTube channel. The channel that is specifically aimed at everyone that is new to animation, and if that is you, welcome, you are at the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also click on that little notification bell so that you can get notified every week when I upload a brand new video. Now, a few weeks ago, or actually a while ago, I created a video that says animation is easy, change my mind. And I got a lot of flack for that video because people said, no, animation is not easy. What am I talking about, etc., etc. But obviously they didn't watch the entire video. They just responded to the thumbnail. Because if you watched the video, you would have known that I said that animation is actually easy because all it is a character or an object that moves from point A to point B. That's all it is. So, for example, you've got point A, let's say this is your hand, point B is here, and then basically it just moves. That is animation. So, if you understand that, animation is very easy. But what I also said in that video is to become a good animator. That is not the easy part. And so that's why I know they didn't watch the video. But today I want to take the concept of animation is easy, and I just want to add a little layer on top of that. Because if you know how to animate, for example, moving an object from point A to point B, then it becomes that is the easy part. But now obviously you want to become a better animator and you want to improve and add to that to make your animations look better. And one thing that is crucial that a lot of beginner animations miss or don't focus on or get wrong is timing. So timing is more than just how long an object takes to move from point A to point B. That's normally what we think timing is, okay? And that is correct. That is the first thing about timing. But timing does a lot more than just the time it takes for an object to move, okay? So there's three things that we need to think about when we animate when it comes to timing. What timing actually portrays in your animation. The first one is believability, okay? And this one is obvious because our eyes are trained over the years since the day we were born that how certain objects act, move, how long it takes, etc. For example, I love to drink coffee. So here's my coffee ready. And when I make coffee for so many years, my brain automatically knows how long it takes for me to take the kettle and lift it to pour it, okay? If it is too fast, my brain will say, that is not natural. If I go like this, it will spill, okay? So if it doesn't spill, the physics aren't right. Okay, so the timing has a lot to do about believability. Our brain knows, or our eyes have been trained to know that when a character walks, that is the average speed that he walks with. If it's too fast, then he's running. But if he's moving too fast, but his actions are just like a normal walking motion, then it doesn't look right. Excuse me. So the first thing that timing does is it adds believability to your animation. If you get that timing wrong, then your brain will automatically say something is not working, something is not right, and it will just kind of reject it, and your animation won't look realistic. Now, what I am going to do is later on, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to talk about the impact timing has on animation, and then at the end of this video, I'm just going to show you just steps that you can follow. It's easy steps to kind of implement what I'm talking about today, that you can just practice over and over until you get better at it and it becomes second nature. So make sure you stay around in this video till later when I go through those steps. Then the second thing that timing does is it portrays weight. Now you say, how is that possible? Well, it's easy. Let's say, for example, you have two round objects, okay? Same size. The one will float slowly but surely to another place. The other one will go fast, okay? So it's the same object, but the one moves slow, the other one goes fast. So what does it tell you? Well, the first one kind of gives you the idea of it is floating. So it means it is a lot lighter than the other one. The second one moves fast. So it's like a ball that's being thrown or being kicked. So it goes fast. So it kind of adds weight to your object. Okay. So timing can also portray weight. That is why if you have a balloon as an object, but it moves fast, your brain will say, back to my first point, your brain will say, this doesn't look right. It doesn't look believable. That is not how a balloon moves. The opposite is true as well. Imagine you have a bowling ball that floats slowly. That is not how a bowling ball moves. So timing also adds weight, and because of that, it adds believability to your animation as well. And then the third one is it will add energy to your animation. So, for example, if you have a character, and I'm going to try and portray it now myself, but if you have a character and he smiles slowly, so it's like that, it kind of tells a story of this character is he just came to realize something, or he's content or happy. So it's just a slow, soft smile, okay? But if you take that same character and you make the smile fast, so all of a sudden it tells something different. That probably look very funny, but it tells something different. It tells maybe excitement. He just realized something or saw something and now he's excited. So just the speed of the smile, the facial expressions, tell a completely different story. So it adds energy to that, to the timing that I've created, or timing gives energy to the animation that I'm trying to animate. So timing can add believability to your animation. It can add weight to your animation, and it can add energy or even urgency or intense to your animation as well. For example, if someone is serious and intense, he will walk a little bit faster than someone who has no care in the world. Okay, so timing does also add some energy and purpose to your animation as well. So those are three things that you can always think of how timing will affect your animation and how it will just make your animations a lot more believable. Okay, so I've mentioned that I will give you guys or show you guys, this is a step-by-step thing that you can always apply when you animate. Okay, so the first thing is you block in your poses. Okay, so let's quickly do that. So I'm just going to go to say keyframe 20. I'm just going to do a rough animation. I'm not going to go into detail, but this will kind of give you an idea. Okay, so let's go to edit motion. And so what I want to do is I want to pose this character that way and like so. And maybe just bring the upper body up a little bit and like so. And I'm not going to worry about the arms right now. So that is the first pose. Okay, so let's go to the second one. Now remember timing. This is where keyframes come in, or your timeline in iClone that I'm using right now. iClone works on 30 frames per second. So if the movement takes 1 second, then you know it's going to take 30 keyframes. So let's say 30 30 keyframes. So I am now at 20, so let's go to 50. Okay. So at 50, now I am going to create my second. So we do that. Okay, wait, let's just undo. Let's just lock the feet. And that's better. So, and let's move like so. Okay, so when we press play, you can see that was extremely, extremely fast. That is not what we want. Okay, so now the second step, okay, like I've said, I'm going to give you guys steps. The first step is you block your poses. That is what we did right now. So we've got our first pose and we've got our second pose. But now I've realized that is maybe a bit too slow. Let's add some urgency to it. So we can maybe add it. So we can adjust the timing until we are happy. So let's go to, yeah, we can see our keyframes. So we can maybe make it slower. So if we press play now, that is very slow. Let's make it faster. That is maybe a little bit better. Okay. That is better. Okay, so the second step is you adjust your timing between your two key poses. Okay, that is what I did right here. So you can see if I want to make it faster, I can move it closer. That is very fast, or I can make it slower and you will see it is very slow. Okay. So you can actually see, for example, the impact timing has. Let's make it short, okay? And we press play. That looks like she's scared and there's something behind her, okay? Now, if I make it slower, now she is like, she froze and she's scared and now she slowly turns around. You can see how that kind of just by adjusting the timing, how it just changes the mood of her movement. Okay, but let's go and we go here. So first step, you block your poses. The second step is you adjust the timing until you are happy. The third step is you apply your 12 principles of animation. That is anticipation, squash and stretch, slow in, slow out, all those kind of things. Okay. So if you want to learn more about the 12 principles of animation, I did create a playlist. So I will add it at the top if you want to go and check that out to learn more about all 12. But the third step is now you can look at this and say, how can I apply the 12 principles of animation to make this better? So one way to do that is slow in, slow out. So this is one area where iClone is quite nice. You can go transition curve and you can say ease in and ease out. And so it will automatically apply the slow in, slow out. So that kind of looks a lot smoother. But another one is arc. Okay, so what we can do is we can go in the center, and instead of her moving in a linear, we can maybe add like so that she's moving in an arc. Okay, so in the center, we can now maybe drop her forward, and we can drop her head. And so if we press play now, that looks a lot better. So we've added slow in, slow out. We've added arc, so that already looks better. And then we can also add a little bit of drag. So her head will drag a little bit. Okay, so maybe when she is here, her head will be a little bit behind. So she will, and then the head will follow through. So okay, So then you apply the 12 principles of animation. I think let's just do that a little bit like so. Just to add some more. And press play. That looks a lot better. So you can see the arc and the slow in and slow out and the drag. It really adds now to that movement. So the first step is you block your poses. The second step, you adjust your timing. The third one is you add your 12 principles of animation to fine tune it. And then the fourth one is once you are happy, now it looks like this character is moving a lot faster. So now you can just maybe adjust your timing again, just to make sure your timing is perfect. Okay, and maybe adjust that. And so the fourth step is you just adjust your timing just to fix everything after you've added all your 12 principles of animation. And you can add squash and stretch because he's moving, etc. There's a lot of things you can add, but those are the 4 steps that you can follow. So you block your poses, you fix your timing, you add 12 principles of animation to fine tune it, to give it more life. And then afterwards, you can just adjust your timing again to make sure after all the adjustments, you just make sure your timing is still correct. And that is just a 4-step process that you can follow to just make sure your timing is a lot better. Yes, there's still a lot that you can add on top of this and to improve, but as a beginner, these 4 steps will really take your animations just to the next level. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are interested in learning 3D animation or maybe iClone, this coming Monday, I am starting my iClone 5-day training camp, and it is just live training and group training. So every day for 5 days at a certain time, we get together online and I coach you. And by the end of the 5 days, this is not like an online course or something. By the end of the 5 days, you would have created your very short animation clip as well. And for me, that is important because a short film, a TV series, a movie, all of that is actually just a group of short clips put together to tell the larger story. So if you can do one short clip, it means you can do a lot of short clips, put it together, and you can actually create your very own animation short film or whatever project you want to do. So I hope you sign up. This coming Monday is the next one. Feel free, if you've missed it, just click on the link as well and see when the next training is and sign up for it. Like I say, by the end of the 5 days, you would have created your very own short animated clip. You would have made your character walk, move, talk, all of those kind of things. So you will have a foundation to go and create your own animated projects. And so I hope to see you there. Feel free to go and sign up. And there's also replay. So if you can't make it because of the time differences or work, whatever there are, the replays of the training will be made available as well. So you can still go, and if you missed the live training, you can still go and rewatch it. So I hope to see you there. But otherwise, I will see you guys next week with another video. So from me, God bless and happy animating.